Hi, this is Zak Mir with the US Chartbreakers here at Zak's Traders Cafe for Thursday, the 1st of May. Starting off with the S&P, and here you can see that we broke that line of resistance there from back in February last week around the 54.80 level. Above that, the obvious target, the 50-day moving average, 56.02. And I suppose what we're really wishing for here is by the end of the month that we're back up at 57.70. That late March peak, which obviously then came undone with the tariff debacle. The overall pattern here does look like an inverted head and shoulders, full of gaps on the way down and gaps on the way down, gaps on the way up. But at least while we're above yesterday's support there, 54.33 on an end of day close basis, looking for the market to head back to 57.70 later this month. RSI at 54, which is just in the right place for a further move to the upside. If we do break down, the worst is that we have to fill that gap down towards 5,300, but not expecting anything lower than yesterday's low. Moving on to the Nasdaq, and here this market also catching up after getting a slap with the tariffs. Here you can see that we're just nudging in fact we've broken through the 50-day moving average. That was at 19,576. In fact, we're just below that on the close, but did actually push through that, and looking for that late March resistance there, 20,300, hopefully by the end of this month. Once again, yesterday's support after the little bear trap that we had through the 19,000 level is what we are looking for as support for this market. RSI at 55, so in the right area for or a leading indicator on a potential move to the upside. Moving on to the stocks, and starting off with the Abeona, and here you can see that we've broken through recent resistance around the $6 mark, $6.10, let's say, and above that, looking for the top of that broadening triangle there from back in August last year, as high as $8.20. Hopefully that will happen by the end of this month. One of the more interesting situations of the recent past has been Cantor Equity Partners, which is obviously rocketed, and here almost looking at this on a day-by-day basis, we had a sort of a triangle formation there, broke through the resistance around $35, and also broke through the resistance at $39. Above 39, obviously we're looking for a retest of yesterday's $46 peak for this market, which looks as though it's already being delivered in terms of the pre-market. On a bigger picture note, the guess at the moment, we've done this before, is that we're in a rising trend channel, probably heading towards the $60 zone. I think that would fit quite well with the price action that we've seen in recent days, and the upside valid while we hold above the $30 area. Moving on to a stock which I haven't looked at for quite some time, Fingermotion, and here breakout through the March resistance around $1.80. The view at this time is that we've closed that gap down that we had there, and basically that's around the $2 mark, above $2. Looking for the top of that rising trend channel from back in June last year, heading for as high as $3.70, and looking for that as soon as the end of this month. Moving on to a company I've actually listened to present in London, which is quite an achievement, Brazil Potash. And what's interesting here is that even though we've had lower lows for the, we had that for the end of April, the RSI steeply rising, or an uptrend line in the RSI window, that does suggest that the bottom has been reached with the final bear trap, top of the range, and top of that falling trend channel around $3.70, which is what we're looking for by the end of May, while we remain above the $2 zone. Next up is Oddity, which has gapped up through a lot of resistance there. The main resistance around the $50 mark, and above that, looking for the shares to hit the top of that rising trend channel from way back in the summer of 2023. Top of the channel there, heading for $66, and we're looking for that at least while we're above the mid-50s, which was the previous resistance for the shares a couple of years back. Moving on to rain enhancement technologies, and here a beautiful U-shaped or saucer-shaped turnaround, breaking through the 50-day line and then consolidating just above it. The view at this stage is above the recent April resistance around $3. Looking at the top of that rising trend channel towards $8, and that can happen as soon as the end of this month. So looking very interesting and almost exciting, that one. Moving along to Regulus, and here another situation which has taken off after the break of the 50-day moving average near the low. We've got a rising trend channel there from the beginning of last year. The top of the channel there heading for $5.50, and we're looking for that as soon as the end of this month, while we remain above the old 2024 resistance around the $3 mark. In fact, as you can see, the pre-open already through the top of that channel. Moving along to Regencell, which has finally broken out of that consolidation it had between the $23 and $40 level. Above 40, we were looking for a test of that resistance line projection from the summer of 2023, i.e. retesting that, and that's been done yesterday. What's interesting now is that the upper parallel of that 2023 line is heading as high as $100. Looking for that perhaps by the end of next month, giving this situation a bit of time, once we get proper clearance of the $60 zone, which is currently the peak area for this stock. On to the last two. The first one is Sintx, and here you can see that we've got this falling trend channel base, or hopefully a base, just breaking through the 50-day, or trying to break through the 50-day moving average. Want to see an end of day close above that at 295, so that we can get a move up towards the top of that falling trend channel, near to $5.20 by the end of next month. Upside value while we hold above recent support around $2.40. Finishing off with the stock which I covered just a few days ago, and it is urgently managed to blow through the top of that initial target area and price channel around $11.70. Above that, we're looking for an upgrade on the move up towards $24 perhaps by the end of this month, but the gap higher certainly building confidence there. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.